YouTube, what's happening? It's Friday, July 12th. You can see we got a full slate of baseball to talk about today. Drop a like, subscribe, share if you have not. You can see yesterday went 8-7, had a green day, but got ate up by the juice. The juice got us. The juice is loose. So overall for the season, still up 60 games on the record. 76 units still in the plus. As long as that number stays green by the end of baseball season, I don't care because plus is all we want to earn. We want profits. We are trying to build our bankroll football season. Let's be honest here, because football, I have a lot of players in football, especially in college football. I cannot wait to start making college football, NFL, NBA, college basketball, hockey videos. There's a bunch of videos coming in the fall. So for now, we have baseball. That's all we got. Maybe a little UFC tomorrow, perhaps, maybe. We'll see. But either way, drop a like, subscribe. Let's go ahead and jump to that first game right now. All right, first up, we have Oakland and Philly today. All the games, none of them are super early day games. They're all night games or later, especially for us East Coast people. You can see Philly is almost a 300 favorite. That's crazy high. Whew. Over under is 9 currently. If you're wondering what this screen is, this is the outlier screen. This is where I show props and everything. If you want to get a better view of it real quick, you can see we have all the props for all the players, percentages. I have a link in the description. You get a free week to check it out for yourself. Go sign up. It's worth it. Trust me, you'll like it because that's how I got hooked. I tried it. I liked it. So awesome play, awesome service. You'll see. So we have the numbers here. Let's go with the bats, and we see that 48.7% nerfy based on what has happened this year. Oakland has fallen off a cliff. They were doing good, but you can see that downtrend. That's a hill. Want to go get some skis and go down that hill right there. 4.7 runs their last 3 for 13th. 6.3 for Philly. Puts them at 8th. Advantage Philly. 245 versus 320 for Philly. Advantage Philly. Philly is balling out right now. So, and Oakland's not bad. They're middle of the road, but they're downtrending. You really don't want to bet on a team that's downtrending because they were hot. They're just coming back to normal now. So, and Oakland is striking out a ton. Oakland, something about the West Coast. Oakland, Seattle, they want to strike out they want to be tops in those. So 12.3 strikeouts or 29th. We'll look at Suarez strikeouts, but if you know Suarez's last couple games, he hasn't been that great. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So you can see Suarez, 258, 102, great numbers. Oh, he's a beast, right? Last game against Atlanta, 6-5, 10-6 against Miami. You know, the first one, that's a trend. That's an outlier right there. 10-6 is an outlier. This is becoming a habit. You know the age-old saying, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't get fooled again." That's right. So you know the saying. And you can see he was a beast before this. His opponent, Mr. Harris here, 322 with a 134. 5. His numbers are good. Outside of 10 hits, that's a lot of hits, but he only gave up 3 earned. He got out some jams. You can see he's been pretty decent on the numbers. What I'm seeing offense. I'm seeing the teams are going to be able to score some runs, especially when you got these two offenses. The over-under Birmingham, Oakland, Baltimore. Oakland, Boston yesterday. Not today. You can't fool me again. 9 is a total. I think we're going to be taking 9 in this one. So, Philly, Oakland. We're going to do a list live today. You can watch me add to the list. Over 9. So we're going to be taking that over 9. And I like 9 because a push. You get to 4-4, which is my favorite score in baseball, because 4-4 hits 7.5. It hits 8. It hits 8.5 because you got to score that 9th run. And 9's a push. So hey, I love it. So we will take that. Now let's pop over to some outlier, look at some props. Let's start with Oakland. Hogan Harris, he's 1-3. You can see what he has done this year. You can see how he is against lefty batters. Against the Philly lineup, how Philly is versus lefty pitchers, Schwarber, 338, loves lefties. Harper loves lefties. Sosa loves lefties. Everyone else is not so much. If it's red, it's below their season average. If it's green, it's above their season average. So you can see what we got here. Your stars are loving some lefties. The rest are not so much. Suarez, on the other hand, you can see with him, his numbers here against Oakland, against lefties. You can see nothing is really besides this dude with a 556 and 18 at bats. He really loves lefties. So his OPS is 1.39. Wow, that's crazy. So you have those stats there, and they never face Suarez. Oh, and I forgot, they have not. Oh, they have faced Harris. Okay, I had about 3 at bats. Harris had a pretty good game. Looks like Schwarber did get a home run off him. That's interesting. So with that being said, let's look at some props real quick for Harris. Earned runs, over 3.5 earned runs. That's a high number. I can't. That's just too high. Why would I take that? It's so high. Hits, I mean, nothing standing out so far. Nothing pitch. I hit my first pitching out yesterday. I feel good about that. Steele's a beast for the Cubs. Hey, we love that. The Phillies might get to him, so I don't trust those. Suarez, he's been rough the last 2 games. You can see 6 and 5 earned runs, strikeouts against Oakland. His number's what? Over 5.5. He had 0. Can you really bet on a guy that had 0 strikeouts? I don't think I can. You can, baby. You can. I don't know if I can. I'm gonna pass. Hits. Ooh, now see, but it's Oakland bats. Oakland's is struggling. So hold up. What were these teams? Mets, Baltimore, San Diego, Detroit, and Atlanta. Yeah, I'll hold off. These are decent teams. And then you get here at St. Louis, Colorado, bad, Texas. I'll pass. I'll pass. And walks. So okay, so no props are looking good. So far, all we got is the over of 9. I don't trust the Phillies money line. I'm just gonna say it right now. With the way Suarez is pitching the last couple of games, I can't back that. I need him to be a stud, and he's not a stud right now. So for me, personally, I'm going to take the bats here and see Philly's hot. Oakland's medium hot. They were hot. Maybe they can just come back up. We're going to take over 9 and just move on to the next game. Oh, and no Nerfy either, obviously. No Nerfy. Next game. All right, game 2, we got the Dodgers and the Tigers. You can see Detroit slightly favored at home. Your total is 8 on the board. Looking at the Nerfy, 48.8 based on what they've done. Maybe in this one. I might actually think about taking this one. 1.7 runs a game for Detroit while batting 212 is probably why, because they're not doing too good offensively. Detroit is, however, pretty hot. 7.7 runs a game while batting 284, all in their last 3. Big advantage for Detroit in this one. And LA is striking out a good bit. That's what you see here. Let's look at the pitchers real quick. We got Paxton going out there for LA, 4.24 with a 1.40. You can see what he's done. He got roughed up in a couple games. He had a couple great games. We'll break him down a little further here in a minute. Screwball is really the show here. 237 with a 0.9. Dude's a beast. Probably Cy Young. My vote for Cy Young so far. Great games. His worst games, a couple of 4 earned games. So other inside that beast. The main thing is strikeouts. That's what I'm looking at in this one. So he's hit strikeouts in every game but this Houston game. And let's pop over to the props. We'll start with Screwball. You can see Screwball's record, and you can see the Dodgers bats. And how do the Dodgers fare against lefties? Well, there's a lot of green out here, but the only one that really stands, there's a couple 3, like Barnes. He doesn't play much. Will Smith, yeah, 325. Not too much. Freeman's red. That's note right there. Otani's 302, which is below his season average. Vargas 346 doesn't play much. Page doesn't. See, you can see the numbers there. So, and let's look at the props here. Earned runs. No, I am going to look at the strike. I am going to be taking the strikeout. It is 6.5 currently, and you can get right around 20s, 30s for the juice, depending on where you look. If you can see it in this list, you can see it in an offshore book. Guaranteed you can find it. Probably better numbers too. So you see those. Hits, we'll look at that. Nothing stands out. Walks, no, not so much. Wins. Pitching outs, I'm also going to play because I think a lot of your main pitchers today, with the break coming next week, we're going to get a lot of pitching out plays today because I think they're going to be more inclined to go an extra inning or 2 because they do get they get several days off. Now, he's going to go to the All-Star game and pitch at least 1 inning. We know this. So, but outside of that, he's going to get time off. So he gets time to rest and recover a little bit. So I can see him going 7 innings easily. So we'll take the pitching out 17.5. We're going to take 6.5 on the strikeouts. And I'm also going to take, because of the bats and because of the matchup and everything, I think Screwball is Cy Young probably, but let's be honest here. I don't think Paxton is a scrub at all because you can see his numbers, the matchup. Let's pop over to him real quick. His numbers are good. The numbers against lefties are okay. Facing, Khan is facing 10 times with a 3 average. Nothing really stands out here. I think Screwball's better. Let's just be honest. Paxton's not bad. Screwball's better. The bats are better for Detroit right now, so they have the advantage. So when you have both of them, I got to take Detroit in the money line. So for this one, we're going to take Detroit money line, Screwball over 6.5 strikeouts, and over 17.5 pitching outs. Those 3 plays, and I'm going to move on to the next game. All right, game 3, we got Cleveland and Tampa Bay. You got the Rays as a slight to moderate favorite at home. Your total is 8 out there. Looking at the Nerfy, 54.8 based on 54.0 based on what they've done this year. 4.7 versus 3.7 on the runs. That's both the middle of the pack. Slight advantage Cleveland. 233 versus 274. Tampa has a slight advantage there by about 40 points. Not that big of a difference, but enough for an advantage. So those two kind of cancel out. And the strikeouts, Tampa Bay strikes a lot more than Cleveland. So nothing really stands out. The bats are pretty equal in my mind. Let's look at the pitching. Cleveland's going to be sending out Carrasco, 5.22 with a 1.36. You can see his numbers. He that's 6.5 and a 7.5 are his worst two games, but you can see he gives up some runs. That's just what he's going to do. So that's his thing. And then Tampa sending out Taj Mahal Bradley here, 3.23 with a 1.13. You can see his numbers too. Dude has been striking out some too. It's been, not bad. His numbers are pretty good. Outside his 999 he gave up, he's been pretty on point. So to me, I say compared to Carrasco, I would say Bradley is the favorite here. So we have a slight, and not much, maybe slight, maybe moderate lean on Bradley versus Carrasco. Bats are pretty equal. So we're not going to be taking a side, and we're probably not going to take a total, and we're not taking a nerfy. So let's see if we have any props. First, we'll start with Bradley versus Cleveland. You can see his numbers. Cleveland versus righties. You can see the numbers here. Nothing is red, means below season average. Nothing is really standing out too much here. And against Bradley, there hasn't been much data here to look at. So, and look at his props. Bradley over earned runs. I'm not liking strikeouts. Oh, 5.5. I do like. Hold up. Oh wait, it's versus Cleveland. Never mind. I don't like. So that's how up and down. I like to argue with myself. So yeah, he's up and down. That was versus Boston. That was versus the Cubs, and that was versus Washington, Baltimore, Minnesota. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna mess with 5.5. Others might, but I'm not. Hits, I'm gonna pass on. Walks, he has been walking a lot recently too. And Cleveland doesn't strike out, so there we go. There's a play I like right there. So we're gonna take Bradley because walk props have been doing pretty good recently. So over 1.5 walks, and we're right at the good numbers. So yeah, we'll take over 1.5 walks for Bradley. Maybe he's trying to strike out more. I'll take that. So for sure. Pitching outs for him. No, he's too close to that line, so we'll be done with him. Carrasco, we see his numbers. Carrasco versus Tampa Bay. His numbers, Tampa versus righties. You can see mostly red. Tampa does not do too good against righties. 287 for that guy. 188 is still higher than his season average. That's how bad he's been. 213, and against Carrasco, well, a lot of green. Low likes facing Carrasco. 8 at bats, 2 home runs. There's a home run dinger bet for you right there. Low. I might take, you know what? Let me make another little column here at the end. We might have a little, I might give you guys a home run parlay today for the first time. Home run parlay and below for Tampa Bay. Yeah, we're going to do that. If we see something like this stand out, yeah, we'll throw that in. We'll build one for you right now. We'll see what happens. So, all right. So based on that, let's look at his props too. Nothing on the hits, strikeouts. He's up and down. Nothing in earned runs. Walks, no. Pitching outs, no. So okay, nothing there. So far the only thing I have in this one is Bradley over 1.5 walks and low into a home run prop. We're adding new things every day on this channel. Look at that. So Bradley over 1.5 officially, and then we'll have that parlay home run with low later. Move on to the next game. All right, next up we got the Yankees and the Orioles. You see the Yanks are slightly favored on the road. 9 is your total out there. Looking at the bats, 40.9 on the Nerfy. That's pretty low. That's even looking at Yerfy territory almost, based on what they've done this year. 3 versus 0.7 for Baltimore at home. Baltimore's gotten 0.7 runs in their last 3 games. They are struggling to score. 212 batting for New York and 194 for Baltimore. So New York isn't doing great, but they're still doing better than Baltimore. So both these teams are abysmal when it comes to offense. If the pitching's great, we might look at a Nerfy. Let's say that right there. Even if pitching's average, I'm taking a Nerfy because these offenses are terrible right now. 9.3 versus 7.7. Strikeouts slightly high for New York. Baltimore's pretty good like usual. Let's look at the pitchers. So for Baltimore, we got Povich going out there, 6.51 with a 1.48. 5.8 against Oakland, 5.2, 7.3. Great game against New York last time. Only 1 hit, 1 earned run, 5 walks though. Wow. And a gem against Atlanta and roughed up against Toronto. So what do we get? I mean, he's a lefty. We got to see how they hit lefty. So we got to see all this. So let me go ahead and open this up. We're going to go everything pitcher first. So we're going to start with Povich. We got his numbers here. let's go ahead and pop up his matchup and let's pop over to it. So matchup, Povich against the Yanks, against lefties. Let's see how the Yankees do against lefties. Wells, 273, yellow. You want green here. Jones is over 300. Judge is 310 with 8 homers against lefties. Soto's over 300 with lefties. Oh, that makes it a little rough. Against Povich, nobody's hit a home run off him. He hasn't had more than 2 at-bats against anybody, so nothing really stands out there. There's a 1.16 OPS, but outside of that, nothing really stands out. So let's look at his props. Earned runs, nah. Strikeouts, no. Hits, no. The offenses are terrible right now. Walks, 5-3, but there was a couple, so nothing looks good. So pat back over. Let's go to Garrett Cole. Cole had a rough-ish start. You can see last game against Boston. Let's look at his props and his information. See what stands out here. Go to the matchup. Good, there we go. Hit the button, it might work. I think we can look at Garrett Cole versus Baltimore and versus righties. We can see how Baltimore does against righties. 308 for Henderson. We got some greens. We got the Westbury's at 300 basically. Anybody versus Cole. We have some at bats out there, and we got a couple home runs here and there. So I don't know if I want to add more. Henderson might be a play. At 1.4 is pretty nice. McCann might be a play. 1.6 might be nice. So we got a couple potentials out there. I might have to add those. And if I add one of these for home run, it's going to be Henderson. That's the one I want to add. So, but McCann is batting 429. That is, and so is yours. That's, yeah. Hayes is 294, but hasn't hit a bomb yet. Mullins, you know what? We'll just leave low. I want somebody who's, you can tell, likes the guy. A couple of bats, well, not, yeah, we'll leave those alone. Let's look at his props now. Earned runs, over. This is Cole here. Earned runs for Cole. Strikeouts, 2 strike. Baltimore's not that bad. Strikeouts, we're not going to do that. Hits, no. Walks, no. So far, I don't like any of the props, to be honest. Looking at the bats, they're both terrible. Both pitchers aren't bad. They're just not that great. I mean, Cole, yeah. Look at Cole. 7-4 against Boston. 7-6 against the Mets. He had a good game against Toronto. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, we think he's good, but is he good? We don't know. So, I think I might just take the Nerfy because of how bad these offenses are, to be honest. Because total's 9. I don't really trust the pitchers to keep it under 9. I don't take the over, especially with 2 bad offenses. I don't really trust the sides. So you know what? I want to play this. So we're going to go New York / Baltimore. And we're going to take the Nerfy in this one. And that's all we're going to do. Take the Nerfy, 6 simple outs, and move on to the next game. All right, next up, this one's going to be quick. Kansas City on Boston. We see that Kansas City's slightly favored and be a pick'em. Your total is 9. The reason being is, well, we don't know who's pitching for Boston. It isn't out there. So I will go over what I can while we can, but this is going to be a passer, I'm going to tell you right now. So KC, 8 runs a game for number 2. Boston, 7 runs a game for number 4. Offenses are clicking. I might still take an over. I said pass, but I might take an over. We'll see. 306 average versus 304. Both offenses are hot. 6.3 strikeouts versus 11.7. Boston does strike out a ton. So we will look at Reagan's here. And we can see that 8, 6, 11, 7, 4. We will look at his strikeout props because dude is balling out. He does have potential to give up some runs. And he has not faced Boston recently, so nothing really stands out there. Looking at his prop, we do have props for him for outlier. Earned runs. Oh, no, we want the over. Show the over 2.5. We can see, oh, he's been pretty good on earned runs. Strikeouts, though, 7.5. Ooh, why so high? That is high. That's a high number, guys. That is high. I don't know if I can do that. If it was 6.5, yeah, but can I get all line? Oh, no. I'm not doing that. So, all right, I'll pass on that. Hits. No. Walks. He does walk people, does he not? But wow, that is almost 200. No. Win, output, outs. That's a number I like to see. Now, he does do this, but I mean, he might get, even in his worst games. Well, let's look. Go back to him here. In his games where he gave up a lot of runs against Cleveland and just mainly Cleveland. How did he do against Cleveland? So Cleveland, he only got 14 pitching outs, and back here against Case against Minnesota, he got 15 pitching outs. You know, I think I might still take it. I know the bats are super hot right now, but I think they might let them go. 7, 4, 6, 6, 7, 6. I should probably lay off. I should probably do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna lay off. We're gonna play smart. Play smart, not hard. Right? Work smart, not hard. Not play smart. Work smart. What am I saying? So you can see the numbers there. If you want to take it, by all means, I'm gonna lay off it. So the bats are hot. We know that. The odds are out there. We know that Reagans is starting for KC. We don't know who's starting for Boston. It has not been named. I do not have props. I have none of that. So if I take a bet here, I'm literally guessing against a pitcher. And Reagans is a pretty good pitcher, so I don't want to take an over. I'm not going to take a nerfy. I'm not going to take a side because I don't know who I'm going against. So for this one, I'm just going to completely pass and just move on to the next game. Next up, Miami and Cincinnati. We got Cincy as a pretty moderate favorite at home. 9.5 is total currently. Looking at the bats, 58.8 nerfy based on what they've done this year. 2.3 for Miami while batting 232. That's 26th and 20th offensively in the last three. Cincy, 8.3 for first, batting 355 as a team for first, on fire, in fuego, whatever you want to call it. Miami striking out 12.3 times a game in the last three for 29th. Meanwhile, Cincy's middle of the road, 8.3. So big advantage Cincy on the bats. Pretty obvious. Let's see if the pitching can match up. Let's start with Miami's pitchers. We'll start with Yanni here, 419 with a 1.60. You can see he's only had a handful of games since 8-2, a 3-1, a 9-3, and a 6-3. He's not a bad pitcher, let's be honest. These aren't bad numbers. These are average numbers, if not even good numbers. 5Ks, 4, 5, 6. Since he's only average strikeouts, so probably not, but we will pop over and take a gander. Let's look at his numbers. We want Cincy bats. We want righties. We see how Cincy hits a righty. Outside of Hines, who is apparently 7 out of 10 with 2 home runs. Let's be honest here. Dude's a beast. Reese has been balling. So, do I just add Reese Hines? I might just do that. So, outside of that, Ellie's up at 255 with 11 homers. And anybody versus Yanni? We've had 6 at-bats for wins. Wins does not do good against Yanni here. So outside of that, let's look at the props. Hits. Ooh. Whoa. His hit line is 5.5 and facing the #1 offense right now. Sorry, Yanni. Yanni over 5.5 hits allowed. Got to do it. Can't help you, buddy. You're going to need help against Cincy today, probably. Strikeouts. 4.5. I'm not against Cincy. Earned runs. I'm tempted here too, but we got the hits already. So walks, outs. Now I think we're good there. Let's pop back over here and pop over to Mr. Spires here for Cincy. You can see his numbers here. He is a relief pitcher, though. Remember that. And he ain't going to pitch more than 6 innings. So you can see the stats here. He gives up some runs, but not that many. I mean, Yanni's better at the pitching, let's be honest. But Cincy is so much better with the offense, though. I'm tempted to take Cincy, even though those odds are 155 is not bad. Let's go over to Spires props. Let's see. Spires versus Miami versus righties. So let's see how Miami is versus righties. 275 for Sanchez with 9 bombs. De La Cruz is below. Chisholm's below. 86. See, we can see the numbers here. You can see how they stand out here. Nothing too impressive, I don't think, really stands out. So against Spires, no one's faced them, so that's a thing. And let's look at his props, earned runs. Let's do 2024, make sure we got the best. There's only been 4 total games. Strikeouts, hits, walks, outs, 6. Yeah, okay, we see the innings there. Okay, we'll leave those alone. So far, all I have is Yanni over 5.5 hits allowed. The bats are on fire for Cincy, so big advantage Cincy here. The pitching advantage, I would say, goes to Yanni. He is pitching slightly better than Spires, but not by a lot, but slightly. So I think that's still good enough to take Cincy on the money line. So I'm going to take Cincy money line, pair it with Yanni. Cincy will both, since they're favored, they will go in the money line part of the end, as well as, who was the other team? Detroit. They will join Detroit in the moneyline parlay later. So I know I forgot to do the moneyline parlay yesterday. I completely forgot. I would have hit it. I would have profited, but I just forgot. So it happens. So Yanni over 5.5 hits. Cincy money line. Next game. Next up, Colorado and New York. The Mets are a very heavy favorite. 240 is the best number out there. 8.5 is your total. Looking at the bat, 63% Nerfy is highlighted based on what they've done this year. 4.3 runs for Colorado for 15th while batting 250 for 13th, both middle of the road. Mets 6.7 for 7th, 320 for 3rd. So the Mets have the advantage with the bats. Colorado is striking out a ton as usual. Mets are not. So yeah, New York has all the advantage with the bats. Let's see if the offense can match. Let's start with Colorado. Colorado has Gordon going out there. He's had one game. He got rocked. 8 hits, 5 earned. That's just what he did. So you can see, and 2 home runs. So we can look at stuff. I mean, I don't know what we're really going to see, but we can try. We got Gordon had just one game, but we can see how the Mets do against righties. That's something we can look at. Bader 307, 250. The Mets aren't all that good against righties compared to their season averages. They're way better against lefties. So you can see the numbers here. Alonso 12 home runs. Not really worth anything standing out here. So let's pop back over and see what Manea's got going on. Hasn't faced Colorado, but he did get rocked a few games, had a couple great games. So he's up, he's doing better now. And we pop over here to his. Obviously, we're not taking any props with Gordon because, I'll show you real quick. He has one prop. What are we going to do? Hits, Ks, and walks, and he has one game. I can't really do anything with that. So, Manea, we want him versus Colorado. Lefties. How do Colorado hit lefties? 326, 303, 309, 309, 299. We got some numbers on here, so interesting. Manea here, nothing is. Diaz has 1 home run and 8 at bats. But he's only batting 250. Oh, Goodman's got 1 home run and 3 at bats. That's okay. So nothing's still standing out. Let's look at some props. Strikeouts, no. Hits, not standing out. Earned runs, 1.5 is your earned run. Ooh, what's that? Yeah, okay. Walks, he has been walking dudes, and he is facing Colorado, who strikes out a ton. And strikeouts are 6.5. Walks are at 1.5. See who it was against. Okay. And pitching outs, I don't want. That's too risky right there. I don't want to touch that. So I am going to pass on both guys' props. Coming back over to the bats, we see the bats are hot for New York, Colorado, medium. What's the over under? 8.5. We have one pitcher's been rocked because he's new, and Manea has been shown to give up some runs. I kind of want to go over 8.5 in this one. Notice in New York, it's not in Colorado. Maybe I go New York team total here. Hold up, let's do that. Let's play that angle here. Let's pop back over here to the odds. Let's go team props. Mets runs over. Where's the good number? 4.5 at 137. I can deal with that. Maybe 5.5 a little plus juice. We'll take that. We'll take New York Mets over 4.5 for a little bit of juice. That's fine. So we'll take that play. I don't like the nerf yet. I don't like the total overall. I lean them on the game line on the 240 is heavy. Scara's so bad right now though. So New York Mets money line as well. We'll take them too. We're gonna have a money line parlay today, and actually we'll have a big one today too. So all right, add them to the parlay. Over 4.5 team total. Next game. Next up, another quick one: Pittsburgh versus Chicago. We have the White Sox as a pretty heavy favorite because Crochet's pitching, and we don't know who's pitching for Pittsburgh. So somehow there's odds, though. That's interesting. 7.5 is your total. Looking at the bats, though, we'll go over everything we can do in this one. Nerfy 67.3. Both offenses are middle of the road, 4.3, 3.7. 208 batting for Pitt, 155 for Chicago. Hell, I thought I was going to pass and everything, but I might take the Nerfy because Crochet's pitching. We know what Crochet can do, and Pittsburgh's not striking out much, so Crochet strikeouts might be in jeopardy in this one, but we will still try it, though. Let's pop over. Crochet 308 with a .97. Dude's a beast. Will not be wearing White Sox gear here soon. I can guarantee it. I'm just curious to see where he actually goes. Pretty great game. I took a strikeout ladder last time, and I got abused. I had 2 units on it, split up on a ladder. He didn't come close. So, hey. Lesson learned, don't do ladders. So it was fun though. It was fun watching that, rooting for him. It was great. So it's all about entertainment. If you're doing anything else, you're doing it wrong. So Let's pop over to his props. You can see what he does. Let's see how Pittsburgh is versus lefties. Pittsburgh, Hayes likes lefties. 344 with 3 bombs. 278, 233. You can see Bart likes them. Anybody face Crochet? One at bat and 1 hit. 1 for 1. That's all we got here. So looking at his props, earned runs, a 1.5. No, what's his strikeout? 7.5. Of course it's 7.5 with him. What else would it be? Oh, I don't know. How bad is Pittsburgh batting? Pittsburgh's doing good right now. I don't think I can do that, to be honest. I think I might just have to pass on that. Hits. I don't trust Pittsburgh's bats. Walks. All right, so we're not doing props. I don't have Pittsburgh props. We don't know who the pitcher is. So since the averages are so low, and I know Crochet is pitching, I think for this one, I think I'm going to do a Chicago White Sox Pittsburgh Pirate Nerfy in this one. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to just sit back and hope to God they can't score in this first inning. So watch it end up being like 7-3 at first inning. So we'll take the Nerfy in this one. We're not going to touch anything else and move to the next game. All right, next up, we got Texas and Houston. Nice little in-state rivalry game going on today. We have Houston moderately favored. 8 is your total. Looking at the bats, 36% Nerfy based on what they've done this year. That, man, that's a 63.22% Yerfy. The Yerfy would be highlighted. I mean, if you did the math that way, it doesn't work that way though. So probably not going to take it. 5.3 versus 6.3 on offense. You can see both on top 11 scoring runs. 269 versus 258. They're about the same in batting average. 7 versus 6.3 strikeouts. The offenses are pretty much the same. Nothing really stands out. So no advantage either way. Looking at the pitchers, Hunter Brown's going out there for Houston. Dude was a beast all June, but the July hit, had a great game and then just blew up. He saved all those runs for 1 game, and there it was against Minnesota. 12 hits, 7 earned, just blew it up. Let's pop over to his outlier here, and let's see how Texas does against righties, because Hunter Brown is a righty. So you can see the numbers. A lot of red, not much green. We got 255, a 284, a 230, a 249. Those aren't good numbers. We got a 164, lots of 2s. These are below season averages, guys. These ain't good. So I see all these. Let's look at his props. That's not looking impressive. Earned runs over. He has 7. Yeah, he had a stretch of just nothing, like a desert, just dry, and then all of a sudden splash. Strikeouts. What's those strikeouts numbers looking like? No, they're both really good strikeouts right now, so we're gonna pass on that. Even 5.5, I'm passing. Sorry, I can't do it. Hits. 4.5. I don't think I can do it. Walks. No. How about outs? Yeah, that's a consistency I like to see right there. We have average bats, great consistent numbers. That's something I can rock with. I can go Houston, Texas. And we can take some Brown over 17? Yeah, 17.5 POs right there. I like that. That's consistency. So yeah, like that a lot. Let's pop back over to your counterpart, Mr. Haney. See what Haney's up to. 3.8 with a 1.24. You can see his game log, see what he's done. He's been pretty consistent. He's going to give up a couple runs, nothing wrong. He had a great game against Tampa Bay, 3 hits. So let's look at his props and everything. See what we got here. We want Haney and we want Houston because Haney pitches for Texas. So lefties. So Houston hits lefties pretty decently. There's only 5 at bats for a 400, 333 for Altuve. Altuve likes some lefties. Jordan here, 342 with 5 bombs. That might be a play. 960, 900, but that 960 is over a lot of at bats. 114. Ooh, Alvarez might be on the list. I might have to add old Alvarez here. I think I'm going to. Alvarez, home run. And that is for Houston. Just because that is, let me pop up, open up, even out, or you can open up, just look at it, see what he does. So we can see home runs. Yeah, it's been 5 games since he hit home run. He hit 3 in a row. Yeah, I'll rock with his home runs. Why not? We'll do that. We'll add him to the parlay today. Welcome to the parlay, big boy. So nothing else is really standing out for these guys. So for me, I'm going to take Brown over 17.5 pitching outs. I'm going to leave the side alone. Total, I think I'm gonna leave it alone too. So did I finish Haney? I don't think I finished off Haney. My bad. I got ahead of myself. We're trying to look at the props here. Ks. Oh, we never even got the Ks. Hits, strikeouts. Yeah, okay, he's a strikeout dude. We know they're not striking out much, but 4.5 though is a pretty low number. Let's be honest here. It's 145. Okay. Haney over 4.5 Ks. Sometimes the numbers are like, yeah, I'm gonna take it. I don't care who they are. That was Seattle. He only got 4. The fix might have been on that one. They had to have been. Milwaukee, yeah. So over 4.5 Ks, I will take that. Earned runs, no. Walks, no. Outs, nah, he's up and down. So, all right, that's enough for this one. All right, so we're gonna take Brown over 17.5 pitching outs, Haney over 4.5 strikeouts, and then we're gonna throw Alvarez, Jordan, into the home run parlay later, just because. Why not? Have a little fun with it. So. Not picking a side, not taking a nervy, none of that. So just those bets. Next game. All right, next up we got Washington and Milwaukee. Milwaukee's a pretty heavy favorite at home. 8 is your total. Look at the bats. Almost 70% on the nerfy, what they've done this year. Washington away nerfies have been feeding families apparently. Milwaukee 79 at home. Okay. 2.3 versus 3.7. They're both bottom 11 in runs. 179 for Washington, 222 for Milwaukee. They're both trending down. Okay. We gotta look at the pitchers first, but so far I'm leaning nerfy. Just gonna lean it that way. 9 versus 11 on strikeouts. Milwaukee is striking out poorly, 15 in the last game too. So Milwaukee's downtrending kind of hard. Let's look at the pitchers. Let's start Milwaukee with the established pitcher. 395 with a 115. You can see what he's done in recent games. Gave a bunch of runs to Cincy, but outside of that, has not faced Washington. Pretty decent games. Nothing standing out. So if we look at the matchup screen here, pop over here, we want Peralta, we want Washington and righties. We can see how righties hit, how Washington hits righties. Decent numbers. There's a 3, he only has 19 at bats. He doesn't count. 270, 360 doesn't count either. Peralta, Winker has a home run and 15 at bats, but outside of that, we got some zeros. Abrams is only 2 for 3. That's nothing scaring me so far. Let me look at some props real quick for him. Hits. Under 4.5 is favored. It's about the same number. The bats are struggling. Peralta under 4.5 might be the play. Let's be honest here. I might have to rock with that one. How many plays I got today? Not that many. I figured I'd have more. So Washington, Milwaukee. Let's go ahead. So far, we have an nervy. So far. We'll type it in and see if we keep it. And Peralta under 4.5 hits allowed, because I'm liking these numbers. Nothing scaring me. We know Milwaukee's bats are kind of cold. Strikeouts, no. Earned runs, no. Walks, no. He's not bad. A couple, outs. The outs are a roller coaster. Okay, no, pass. Okay, that's it for him. Let's pop back over to his competition, Mr. Jackson Rutledge, who has pitched a grand total of 1 game with 1 inning with 2 hits and an earned run. So we have he's thrown 14 pitches and it was on May 14th. What do we do with that information? I don't know. All I know is I can't take a nerfy against a dude that has only pitched 1 inning. So nerfy is coming off the board. Sorry, can't do it. So we're going to keep Peralta on there. Let's be honest. He gave up a home run in 1 inning and 14 pitches. That was it. And it was the White Sox too. So we don't have props, but we can look at how the matchup is. So for the matchup, we want Rutledge, we want Milwaukee, we want righties. How does Milwaukee hit righties, you ask? Well, let me show you. 244, 227. All the greens are above their season average, so they should be a little bit better. But even then, if anything, nothing is true. Maybe some home runs, but these are high at bat numbers, so nothing's really. Yelich is kind of standing out here with 7 and 100 with 331. I might add Yelich to the home run. I might just do it. I think I'm going to. Yelich from Milwaukee. Yep. I kind of want to do one today. It's Friday. Let's have some fun, right? That's all it's all about. It's fun. So okay. I got it. Back to the bats. We slightly lean Milwaukee on the bats. We clearly lean Milwaukee on the pitching. And Milwaukee is 220 favored. They're going to go to win a parlay because that's what we do. So Milwaukee money line is going to go join the Mets and Detroit, and that's it so far. So Peralta under 4.5 hits allowed, Milwaukee money line, and Yelich will go into the home run thing at the end. So that's it. Next game. All right, it's Cubs and Cardinals, another rivalry game today. We have the Cubs as we have the Cardinals as a pretty heavy favorite. 190, 8 is your total. Looking at the bat, 62.4. We got a nerfy potential. 7 runs a game for the Cubs for 4th while batting 325. I don't think we have a nerfy potential. so have 5 earned runs for 12th, but 250 for the St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah, I don't like the nerfy so far anymore. 8 strikeouts versus 9. So let's look over at the pitchers. Let's start with the away team. Let's start with Hendricks here. Hendricks got roughed up against Milwaukee, but other than that, he's been pretty good this year. Even against St. Louis, he had 4.1 with 2. I mean, outside of 1 game, he's been good. Hendricks ain't bad. So let's look at Hendricks a little closer, shall we? Look at the matchup overall. We want Hendricks, we want St. Louis, we want righties. How do St. Louis hit righties, you ask? Well, let me show you. Wynn has a 311, but no home runs. Burleson, 321. We got 184 is green because Crawford's been that bad. So you can see 263. Green means above season average. That's what we like to see. So more green than red. That's not bad. Let's look at some props. Strikeouts for Hendricks. He had 1 strikeout his last game. Other than that, is it 2.5? And it has been doing pretty well. What's the number? 160 though. How was St. Louis on strikeouts? They're 9th for 17th in the last 3. They're always middle of the road. I don't think he strikes out enough for me to really warrant taking that. I'm gonna pass on that. Hits up and down. Earned runs. Whoa, he has given up 7 earned runs. Yeah, earned runs. 4 times he's given up 7 earned runs. Wow. Interesting. Okay. Kind of took me back a little bit. I was a little shocked by that one, but I had to go check my math. Yeah, that was right. So nothing's really standing out for props from him. Let's look over his counterpart, Mr. Sonny Gray. 3.3104 against the Cubs. He has not faced the Cubs recently. So you can see the numbers. This was his worst game recently. It was 8-5 against Washington. He still got 6 strikeouts. He's more strikeouts, and we can see that the Cubs are 8 strikeouts a game for 13th. So let's look and see what these numbers are closer. We want Sonny Gray. We want the Cubs. We want righties. How do Cubs hit righties? Well, 74 bats, 3 home runs. 243, 200. These numbers are not good overall, period. So none of these numbers are. Oh, where is your bats? Where is your offense coming from? Suzuki? I mean, maybe. Anybody face Sonny Gray? What have you done? Nothing is standing out here. Oh yeah, I forgot to check Hendricks versus. I want Hendricks, St. Louis versus Hendricks. Has it? Oh. 3 and 4, 27 at bats. He only bats 222, but that 806 is kind of intriguing. I mean, Nolan might have to go in there, but since 2018, Nolan has fallen off a little bit. Let me look at Nolan and see what he's done recently. Let's go a little deeper real quick. We're digging for home runs today, just for fun. Home runs. He hit a home run 2 games ago, and there's some expected value home run out there too. Ooh, okay. You know what? Nolan for St. Louis. We might throw him out there because he has 3 home runs and 27 at bats. I kind of like that. Back to the Sonny Gray. Nothing is standing out. No one's really showing out. Hap has 1 and 13 at bats, but okay. Look at the props. Earned runs, 1.5. He might give it some runs. Strikeouts, 6.5. No, I'm gonna pass on that. Hits, no. Walks, no. Outs. No, okay. So I don't like any of the props so far. None of the props look good. Both offenses are pretty hot. The pitchers are pretty decent. Total is 8. You know, for this one, I might just take the total. I'm thinking St. Louis, Chicago just needs to be an over 8 play. I think that's the way to go because both bats are pretty hot. Both pitchers have been shown to give up runs. I'm not taking a nerfy. No chance. Not with these. I don't like the props. I am going to add Nolan to the home run list at the end of the video, and we'll just move on to the next game. Next up, Seattle and LA. We have Seattle as a slight to moderate favorite on the road. 8.5 is your total. Looking at the bats, 55.5 on the nerfy based on what they've done this year. Seattle's offense is cooking. 7 runs a game for fourth while batting 299 for seventh. LA 3.7 while batting 229. Bottom. Seattle has the advantage in the offense, let's be honest here. Strikeouts 9.7 versus 8.3. Look at Seattle only being 23rd in strikeout. They only struck out 5 times yesterday. Amazing the things you can do when you don't swing at everything thrown at you, Seattle. Amazing. Good job. Today, however, we have Woo is back. Woo is back. First time since June 24th, he is pitching. You can see what he does. 177 with a .69. Good 3 innings, 4 innings, 2, 3. You can see what we have here. He's a good pitcher. We just know that. Let's look at Woo a little closer, shall we? Let's pop up the matchup, put a Woo up there, pop there, righties. So let's see how LA does against righty pitchers. We have a lot of green, some good green too. Hop. A Hoppy? How do you say that? Dude has 11 home runs with a 300 average. And then we got him, but he's red. I don't like that one. Nothing is truly standing out too much. Not bad though. Let's look at his K. We only have one prop. It's K's. So it's 3.5. We don't know how many innings he's actually going to pitch, so it makes it kind of hard to figure out. So let's leave that alone. Let's look at his counterpart. Tyler, Mr. Anderson, 281 with a 118. You can see the numbers. He got roughed up against Detroit, but other than that, he's been fairly decent. Had some faced Seattle recently, and he struck out 10 last time. So hopefully his strikeouts aren't that low. So let's look at the matchup. Anderson versus Seattle and lefties. Seattle seems to like them some lefties, don't they? Green. Rodriguez, 290 with 2 home runs. Crawford, 4 home runs. Garver, 6 home runs and 71 at bats. I might have to add some of these dudes here. Wow. That is okay. Let's look at the props. Let's see. Earned runs, strikeouts, 10, hits 4.5, and he's facing Seattle. I don't think Seattle's going to keep striking out this well. I want to take 4.5. Yeah. So we're going to take Seattle, LA, Anderson over 4.5K. Got to do it. I got at number 4.5. I got to do it. So hits, walks, outs. Oh, I mean, too. He might hit it. I don't know. Seattle is pretty hot though. I don't know. We'll leave it alone. We'll leave that alone. So nothing outside of that. So we don't know we can't really do anything for Woo because of props. We can't. Only thing I'm gonna do for Anderson is his Ks. Come back to the bats. We see Seattle is the better bats. Pitching wise, I would say Woo is better, but barely. I mean, they're about the same. They're both pretty good. Odds, 140 Seattle. I could see that. Unless Seattle, oof. You know what? I'm gonna lay it off. I need to know how Woo is. I need to see how he is. I'm gonna take Anderson over 4.5 strikeouts. I'm not gonna take anything else. I'm just gonna move on to the next game. Next up, Toronto, Arizona. We have Arizona as a slight favorite. Your total is 9, 53% Nerfy based on what they've done this year. 6 versus 3 on the runs, advantage Toronto. 260 versus 231, advantage Toronto slightly. And 6.7 versus 9 on strikeouts, again, advantage Toronto. So Toronto has the advantage of the bats. Looking over at the pitchers, Nelson is going to be pitching today for Arizona, 508 with a 148. You can see what he's done. Hasn't faced Toronto. Got blew up a little bit against San Diego. Got blew up against Minnesota. So nothing too crazy so far. Pop over to the outlier. Look at the matchup. We want to see how Toronto handles righties. And Vlad, 290 with 10 home runs this year. I have to add that one. I might. Against Nelson, he also has a home run and 3 at-bats against Nelson. Okay, he's on the list. Vladdy Daddy, add him to the list. Can't go back to this. Keep looking at these. Everything standing out. You can see up and down. 55, that's great. Looking at his props, hits, strikeouts, not much. Earned runs, 2.5 for him. Toronto is doing good. I think they can get that. Walks, outs. Earned runs or hits. Which one I want to go with? I think with both, because Toronto's bats are doing pretty good, both in runs and batting average. I'm going to go with one of these. I think I'm going to take 2.5 is 140. Hits are 150. 5.5 hits. He does give up more. That's 3 out of 10. This is 5. We'll take the hits. Okay, so we're going to take, this is Toronto versus Arizona. And we're going to add Nelson over 4.5 hits allowed. Last time I think I took this 3 and it burned me against San Diego, but whatever. You do what you do, you move on. Let's pop back over to his counterpart, Mr. Yariel. Game log. You can see what he's done. He's only had 3 games since April 29th. He had 3, and he pitched 1 inning, 2.1. Now, these 2 games have been gems. It was Houston, and he only struck out 6 against Seattle, but these are both good games. Props are going to be hard, but we will try. I mean, we'll try to look at it, see what we can get, see if we can find anything good over here. So, matchup. Pop the matchup out. We want Yariel versus Arizona and righties. How does Arizona hit righties? Not that well. You can see a lot of red. Peterson's got a 282, but the other side of that, everyone's struggling below their season averages. And, 278, you can see the numbers here. So, has anybody faced him either? Let me look at that too. No, of course not, because he's new. So look at the props. It's hard to do props when you got a couple games, so nothing's really going to stand out here. So for me, I'm going to pass on those props. We got the bats. We see that Toronto's favoring the bats. I would say Toronto. He's not a bad pitcher. He's pretty good, but what are we going to do? Do I take Toronto as? Ooh, Toronto's a dog too. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take Toronto money line as a dog because I think he's a good pitcher. And I will take him over Nelson, who I think is going to give up some runs today against Toronto's offense. So we're going to take Toronto underdog money line. They will not go in the money line parlay. They're underdogs. That's for favorites only. So Toronto money line, Nelson over 4.5 hits allowed, and move to the next game. Oh, and Vladdy Daddy going to go in the home run later too. So next game. All right, next up, Atlanta and San Diego. We have basically a pick 'em, slight favorite for Atlanta. 8.5 is the total. Bats 62.8 nerfy. Well, these offenses, maybe. 3.7 for Braves for 19th. San Diego's 1.3 for 29th. 233 for Atlanta while batting 154 for San Diego. Woo, I didn't realize it was that bad. But San Diego was terrible right now, hence the 4-game losing streak. 7.7 versus 5.3. San Diego still ain't striking out much. They hit nothing, including strikeouts. So San Diego offense terrible. Braves offense bottom 19, 18, so bottom 12, 13. It looks amazing compared to San Diego. So let's look at the pitchers. Atlanta is sending out Spencer Schwallenbach. Great game against Philly. 7 hits, 1 earn. 7 hits ain't great, but I mean, he only gave 1 earn, so 6 Ks. Before those, a couple 4, 6. So, this is an outlier. He's probably closer to the 2-3 range on earned runs. And we will pop over to Azal Props and see the matchup and see we want Atlanta, San Diego righties. How does San Diego hit righties? Well, pretty decently. So obviously it's Louis. Louis is going to have a 300 average against anybody. Great numbers here. Nothing is really standing out. I don't see many. Cronenworth has 12 bombs. Nothing stands out here. They haven't faced Spencer, obviously, because he's new. Look at the props here for him. Let's go in the last few games. Probably the whole season because he hasn't pitched that much. Earned runs, strikeouts has been pretty good for him, but he is facing San Diego, who doesn't strike out. That's the issue. They are number 1 at 5.3 a game, which makes it very hard. People are going to take this, and I want to take it, but let's be honest. I'm going to follow the stats. San Diego's doesn't strike out much. Not going to do it. People are going to take this. I would not be surprised if they end up at 3. If it hits, great. Congratulations on winning. I'm going to hold my unit and play scared. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be scared. So we're not going to do it. We're going to leave it alone. We're going to pass on that. So, because I don't want to add a 174 either. So pass. Hits. Now, some of these others maybe so. Like maybe outs. No walks maybe? No. So no props for him. So let's pop over. Let's go Mr. Randy over here. Randy Dandy. 4-6 and a 1-6. Hasn't faced the Bravos, but you can see the numbers. Got roughed up against Philly. Outside of that, a couple games, a couple runs here and there. Pop back over to the outlier. This time we're going for him. To the matchup. We want Randy. We want the Braves, and we want righties. How do Braves hit the righties? Oh, Riley's a 286, 225. A lot of them are red. Nothing's really standing out too much. And against Randy, has anybody? Ozuna has 1 home run and 4 at bats while batting 750. Ooh, I might. I might. I might. And then Rosario has one at bat and one home run. So, I mean, you can't get better OPS than that, can you? So, ooh, I already have five dudes. I'll leave them off. We'll leave them off. So, all right. So, and let's look at the props real quick. Hits 5.5 against the Braves offense, which is strikeouts, no earned runs, no walks, and outs. Nothing standing out. So, okay, so nothing standing out in the prop land over there. Bats, Atlanta has the favorite. Nerfy, are we going to take a Nerfy? Both, we know San Diego's garbage offensively right now. Can Randy hold the Braves from scoring is the question. Let's look at his numbers again. I think he can. I think he can. And I'm pretty certain Spencer can hold down against this terrible San Diego offense. He looks good too. So, all right. Ooh, all right. Feels weird to do, but we're going to do it. ATL, San Diego. We're going to take the Nerfy for sure in this one. Certainly take the Nerfy. I am going to pass on the side. I'm going to pass on the total. I'm going to pass on all the props. Nerfy, 6 outs, nothing else. Next game. Last game, we got the Twins and the Giants. We have Twins as a slight to moderate favor on the road. 7.5 your total. Looking at the bats, 55.8 Nerfy based on what they've done this year. 4 versus 4.3 on the runs. No real advantage. 236 versus 240. Again, no real advantage. All middle of the road. 7 versus 9. Slight advantage Minnesota on strikeouts. So bats have no advantage. Looking at the pitchers, let's start with Joe Ryan. He has not faced Minnesota, but other than that, you can see the numbers. This is his worst game, a 6-4. Other than that, oh no, he had 85 down here against Houston, but I mean, pretty good numbers. He's going to give a couple runs. That's what we expect. Let's look at the props and see the matchup for him. We want Joe Ryan against San Fran and righties. How does San Fran hit righties? Not well. Not good. Red means below season averages. Fitzgerald doesn't bat much, so he doesn't count. So other than that, not good. So Joe Ryan might be where it's at today. Against Joe Ryan, no home runs, no RBIs, not many at bats, let's be honest. So, okay. Let's look at Joe Ryan's props. We can see strikeouts is at 6.5. The under is favored. And how is San Fran is striking out 9 for 17. They're doing better, but they were pretty bad. Do I want to take their strikeout prop? No, it's only 4. I can't. What am I thinking? Hits allowed over 4.5. We know San Fran's bats are middle of the road. Earned runs, no. Walks, no. Outs. Oh, no, he hasn't hit the last 2 games. I don't trust that, so no props for him. Let's pop back over, look at Harrison, 4.24 to 1.38. He has pitched 1 game in the past month, and it was a 3-inning game against Cleveland. 4, gave up 4, gave up a home run. No, I mean, those are the numbers. We will look at his props here, though. Look at the matchup. Harrison versus Minnesota versus lefties. How does Minnesota hit lefties? They love them some lefties. Almost everybody's green. Cashapp 354. We got 600. Even though it's only 5 at bats. Almost 300. Over 300. Oh, somebody's probably gonna hit a home run today. Just who in this game is gonna hit a home run is the question. Santana has 75 at bats with 5 homers against lefties. 293. 5 home runs. 65 at bats for Carlos. I mean, there's only 308, but still, I might have to add Carlos. I think that's who I'm gonna add. I'm gonna pick Carlos here. Correa, home run, Minnesota. So we're gonna do that, and of the, I'm gonna pick a few of those. So let's look at some props too. Hits under 5.5. Let's look at from over. No strikeouts. Minnesota doesn't strike out much. Earned runs. I don't want 2.5. I can't do that. Walks. Oh, he has some zeros, or he's either strong or he gives up a lot. He's wild. It's hard. So the props I'm going to pass on. Everything's equal on the bats. To be honest, the pitchers, I mean, you lean Minnesota because Minnesota likes to hit lefties. We just saw that. So what's the odds? Minnesota's 140. I'm going to go Minnesota. I mean, that's what I got to do. So Minnesota, San Fran. I'm going to take Minnesota mainline. That's all I'm going to take in this one. I don't trust the total. You saw the props. Nothing stood out. So we're going to take Minnesota. Correa's going to go in the home run group. And that's it for this one. That's it. All right, that's it. That's all 15 games broken down. You see everything. We added a new wrinkle today with a home run prop talk. So Drop a like, subscribe, check out Outlier if you want to get access to the system. You get a free week. Just go sign up. It's free for a week. After that, they ask you to pay, which you probably will want to after you see it because it's pretty awesome. So check it out. Link in the description. To do the recap now, let's run through it real quick because I know that the recap, people love to see this. So first off, we got Philly and Oakland. We're going to take the over of 9. Detroit and the Dodgers, we're going to go with Detroit money line. Screwball over 6.5 strikeouts and over 17.5 pitching out. So 3 things of that game. We're leaning heavily on Screwball in this one. Tampa Bay and Cleveland, we're going to take Bradley over 1.5 walks allowed. Mets in Baltimore. I'm sorry, Yankees in Baltimore. How dare I call them that? Yankees in Baltimore. We're going to take the Nerfy. KC in Boston. We're just going to pass on that one. Pitching, we don't know who they are. Miami and Cincy, we're going to take Yanni to give up 5.5 hits over that. And then we're also going to take Cincinnati on the money line. The Mets and the White Sox. Wait, ain't the Mets. It's the Mets versus, hold up, Mets versus Colorado. There we go. Mets versus Colorado. I'm going to take the Mets money line. And I'm also going to take Mets team total over 4.5. So we have a team total there. Let's see. We're going to take Pittsburgh and the White Sox. We are going to take the Nerfy, nothing else. Houston and Texas. We are going to take Brown over 17.5 pitching outs and Haney over 4.5 strikeouts. Washington and Milwaukee. I'm going to go Peralta under 4.5 hits allowed and Milwaukee money line. St. Louis and the Cubbies over 8. That's it. Nothing else. Seattle and the Angels. Anderson 4.5 Ks over. That's it. Toronto, Arizona, Nelson over 4.5 hits allowed in Toronto money line. Atlanta, San Diego, just the Nerfy. Minnesota, San Fran, just Minnesota money line. And for the money line parlay today, I'm going to do, it's going to be Detroit, it's going to be the Mets, it is going to be Cincy, it is going to be Milwaukee and Toronto and Minnesota. It's going to be a 6-gamer. Don't put anything. I wouldn't put more half a unit on this. I mean, you shouldn't do this at all. Parlays are stupid. Never do parlays. I'm doing it for fun. That's it. Don't be copying my bets. These are my bets. Get your own. So I got a 6-game money line parlay today. Okay. We got a 6-pack. All right. That's fun. And for the home run today, we're doing a home run parlay for once. I am going to put 0.1 unit on each of these dudes to hit a home run. That's it. Because you know you're going to get plus 3, 4, 500 odds. So Lowe from Tampa Bay, Alvarez or Jordan from Houston, Yelich from Milwaukee, Nolan from St. Louis, Vladdy Daddy from Toronto, and Carlos Correa from Minnesota. I'm gonna round robin them. I'm probably gonna do one big parlay, probably 2 3-game parlays. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but I'm going to have some fun with it today because it's Friday. Why not? Let's have fun. So the week's over. Good stuff. So all that said, we are done. Drop comments. Let me know what you're taking today. Let me know, let me know who you think's going to home run today. Tell me that. I want to follow some more stuff. We're going to have more fun. We're adding new stuff every day here. So drop a like, subscribe, share with somebody, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace.